which is the verb to hold in French. And people use some pretty wacky material to make the balls with. Cork, wool, chalk, animal fur, and even human hair. A few centuries on, Germany got dead into the tennis too, but wanted to make a few modifications to the ball to make it a bit more effective. Around this time, an American chemist had just created something called vulcanized rubber. Out of that, people started developing air-filled rubber balls, which were properly bouncy, but either red or grey in colour. These were manufactured in Melton Mowbray. That's right, the home of the pork pie. One problem, the balls kept on breaking on impact with the racket. The call of new balls please seemingly coming over every other point. Step forward English lawyer and tennis enthusiast John Moyer Heathcote, who suggested balls be covered in flannel to stop them from degrading. And thus the modern-day tennis ball was born. But these were white or black, so how did they become yellow? Well, in 1967, the controller of BBC Two, one Sir David Attenborough, decided the corporation should show Wimbledon on colour TV. He got his wish and it was wide into people's homes across the country. The only sticking point, the white balls were nearly impossible to see on the screen. So the International Tennis Federation, sensing an opportunity, started developing a new ball that would be visible even without the need for 4K LED displays. Not that anyone had that in the late 60s. After rigorous testing, they came up with the colour optic yellow and decided every ball be coated in that colour from there on in. And there you have it. Tennis balls are yellow, all because Sir David Attenborough wanted to watch Wimbledon from the comfort of his own front room. You could say the ITF aced it.
A very good morning. This is the Early Breakfast on talkSPORT. We're with Adrian Flux, insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. It's Sam Ellard building up to talkSPORT Breakfast to 6 a.m. when it's Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy with a sports bar takeover on talkSPORT Breakfast. But with what's coming up over the next hour. Good morning, Sam Stevens.
Yes, good morning, Sam. Now we'll talk about Manchester City's dominant win in the Club World Cup last night. Rodri is back. Does that mean the real Man City will please stand up? We'll discuss Jofra Archer's inclusion in the England squad. Sam has a thought on that. We'll also get all the latest transfer news. Is Eberechi Eze on the move? And which half of North London will he go to, if either? Plus, we'll have a full preview of the Lions' first warm-up game on Australian soil and the usual nonsense in the front pages and great stuff in the back pages too.
We like some nonsense, don't we? This is the Early Breakfast on talkSPORT with Adrian Flux, insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. Happy Friday, Sam Stevens. How are you?
Very, very happy Friday to you, Sam. Yes, I'm good, thank you very much. Looking forward to the weekend of sport. As you said to Paul Ross in your little hand over there, there's a lot going on, despite the fact that we thought it was going to be, I mean, we've had meetings at work about it, haven't we, about, the non-tournaments, non-traditional tournament summer, but we've still got loads going on. We've got Club World Cup, plenty of action there, lots of stories. We've got the Women's Euros to come. There's the Lions Tour, which is absolutely fantastic, full of drama and stories there, and all the other bits and pieces that you
Wimbledon starting
cricket,
on
cricket, of course.
Wimbledon. Are you a Wimbledon fan?
Yeah, very much so. I love Wimbledon, and I'm particularly into it at the moment with Carlos Alcaraz. Big fan of Alcaraz. Yeah, he's a great lad, and it's interesting hearing from Nick Kyrgios about it as well. Real insight from the inside. Former finalist, of course. He's been on the station a couple of times this week, so all of that gets you in the mood, doesn't it? And I mean, the weather certainly gets you in the mood for Wimbledon.
100%. I think you're right. I think sometimes you panic when the Premier League's over. Like, what are we going to do for the next 3 months? But when actually you break down all the things that we do have to watch, it's actually not too bad, is it? And maybe, just maybe, and I love Premier League football as much as everybody else, maybe the odd little break from the Premier League isn't necessarily a bad thing. And then when it comes back in a few weeks' time, goodness me, we'll be raring to go, won't we?
Yeah, I think the other thing about that, Sam, is I think it's a good chance for other sports just to have their moment in the sun, isn't it? For the football fan who are so usually all consumed by football to have their moment to try and sell themselves to the wider audience and to those people who might otherwise miss it during the football season. So,
I'm going to ask you, because you mentioned Wimbledon. I mean, this is a really brutal question to ask you at 5:05 on a Friday morning. If you had to guess, and you can be like miles off here, how many strawberries do you think Wimbledon prepare for the 2 weeks?
Blimey, why have you prepared that stat? I
haven't prepared. I just saw it in the Daily Mail when I came.
How many strawberries do they get through in a day, in a week, in a tournament?
No, in the whole tournament.
Oh my word!
In the whole shebang. It's a great question.
I'm going to say 3.5 million.
I think it's a really good guess. It's 2.5 million.
That's not a bad guess, is it? It's only a million out, which actually in the grand scheme of things isn't that bad.
I think in the grand scheme of things, how many? This one's even harder.
A million out. Right,
how many balls do you think Wimbledon have for the whole tournament? Like how many balls are in Wimbledon for the whole 2 week period?
Let's say 3,500.
Okay, 66,000.
66.
But I guess maybe that's including, you've got to have not just the balls for the matches, but for the tennis prep, for the warm-up matches and
stuff.
That's
very true, and all the outside courts and all
anyway, that maybe was me, and I threw you that.
66,000 is a lot,
It's a lot of tennis balls.
It's a lot of balls, yeah.
Lots of balls, lots of strawberries.
When was the last time you bought a tennis ball?
I don't think I've ever bought a tennis ball.
Everybody's bought a tennis ball over the years. Didn't you have one at school? Didn't you need one? Like when you obviously played a bit of tennis at school, right?
Yeah, but I think the ball's got... Did
you practice at home?
No, but I think so. Yeah, but maybe my mum and dad bought me a tennis ball.
Oh, I see. Yeah, you wouldn't go out and buy your own tennis ball. So the last time you bought a tennis ball was when your mother bought you one. Obviously, that's guaranteed, isn't it?
Oh, sorry. I mean, fine. Yeah, when I was a kid, then.
A long time ago. You're not because the thing is, and Kyrgios mentioned this. Everyone's turning to paddle now, aren't they? That's the thing.
Well,
everybody's playing paddle now.
Yeah, 100. I do play paddle, which is great.
Do you?
Did you?
I saw you filming paddle.
Sorry. Why were you so shocked that I play paddle? Why do people do that when I tell them I play paddle? They look. So when I went to record,
your involvement in paddle the other day was sticking your microphone in Gabriel Bondelhor's face. It wasn't any of you playing, was it? You weren't part of the doubles team or anything.
Yeah, I'm aware of that, but I play away from Gabriel Bondelhor and Darren Bent.
Oh, do you? Okay.
I play with my
Is that why you were, as the reporter, the paddle expert, talkSPORT's paddle expert?
No, I think that was just a last minute thing, and because I was in that morning doing the early breakfast show, they just sent me down. But that video went really, really well. Spoiler alert, not this is confirmed that nobody signed up for it yet. Big news. But I believe that we are looking at doing something a bit bigger and a bit more kind of official.
Oh, a talkSPORT
in terms of paddle talkSPORT, yeah.
Great.
I mean, that is not confirmed, and maybe I shouldn't have said that.
I thought Simon came across very well on that video.
Do you know what?
He was in excellent form.
Do you know what? He was really good as well. Like I kind of went for the hey watch, wanting him to be really, really bad, because he looked like a bit of a, I think I called him this, so I can say it, a bit of a melt. Like, he had
not particularly
purple leg. I know, and I thought if he's bad, he'd be really...
unusual for him, by the way, because normally he's well turned out every day.
And I thought if he was bad, it'd be really funny.
Yes,
but he wasn't, which is a shame.
So can you tell everybody, ladies and gentlemen, where you can find this particular video?
If you type in onto talkSPORT's YouTube, talkSPORT Paddle, you will find it on talkSPORT's YouTube channel.
talkSPORT's YouTube channel.
talkSPORT's YouTube channel.
Yeah, have a look at that.
It's well worth
good
watch.
Track.
Just for the Simon John attire, it's well worth
watch, isn't it? Anything, yeah, for sure.
Good stuff, Sam Stevens. Thank you. You'll be back throughout the course of the morning.
Bye then. I'm off now.
Well, no,
that's it. No, I'm gone now.
You can stay for the whole 50.
You're fine.
You can stay for the next 52 minutes if you want.
No, Sam, it's your show.
It's definitely not my show. It's Shabana's show, then it's Katie's show, then it's my show. I will do my best for the next 15 minutes. Sam Stevens back shortly to do some back pages. Just some back page headlines for you. Back in the mail, Archer back for England. Jofra Archer can make his first test appearance in more than 4 years at Edgbaston next week after he was added to England's squads to face India. That's good news. Some rugby union news. Back at the Times, Farrell lets Pollock off the leash. Andy Farrell has told Henry Pollock that he has free licence to celebrate and be himself in his first start for the British and Irish Lions. Some transfer news inside the Times from Martin Hardy. He says Newcastle United have had two bids that total £75 million turned down for James Trafford and João Pedro. Lots of reaction to Man City making it 3 wins from 3 at the Club World Cup on the back pages. Talking of that, Tom Morgan in the Telegraph, England under-21s are outshining the senior stars of the Club World Cup in a TV ratings battle between Channel 4 and 5. A peak audience of 1.6 million for Chelsea's opening 2-0 win against Los Angeles FC remains Channel 5's highest for the tournament. Channel 4's coverage of the Under-21 Championship has overshadowed that, with a peak of £1.8 million tuning in to England's semi-final win over Netherlands. What else have we got? Again, Archer back at the Guardian. Paceman fast-tracked. England take chance on Archer. with recall for the Edgbaston test. How about this for some numbers? £500 million is a headline on the back of the Sun. Cristiano Ronaldo landed the most lucrative contract in sporting history, worth up to £500 million. Sunspot understands the deal includes a basic indeed, of £178 million a season and a signing on fee of £38 million, a 15% stake in the club valued at £33 million, plus £8 million for winning the league. Basically, he's getting paid a ridiculous amount of money. Anyway, to the Club World Cup. Manchester City put on a masterclass in sweltering conditions in Orlando, beating Juventus 5-2. Great news for them. Rodri's returned to starting 11 for the first time in many, many months, while Erling Haaland bagged his 300th top-flight goal. The game was live on talkSPORT.
Lovely ball to Doku. Great first touch. That is a superb goal. It's the perfect start for Pep Guardiola's men. Given away by Edison. It's a dreadful error, and there's the equaliser.
It's absolutely ridiculous goal to concede.
But here they come, City. Great ball across. Oh, it's an own goal. Pierre Kalulu under no pressure really, and there are gifts being given aplenty in Orlando. Nunez across to Haaland, and they've got another. He's only been on the field 6 minutes. Great control from Haaland into the area, plays it into the box. Surely they'll score here. Phil Foden into an empty net. It was a tap in. It's come to the edge of the area, and it's an absolute stunner. Savinho with a rocket. This is a real statement of intent. A 5-star performance by Vlahovic. Right foot shot into the bottom corner. And that's a small gesture of defiance. Manchester City have finished with a flourish. They win Group G, and they win this game in Orlando against Juventus by 5-2.
Yeah, City putting 5 past the European heavyweight to lay down a marker in the tournament. And maybe the big news for them, a first start in September for Rodri. Also 300 goals for Erling Haaland. So it's 3 wins and 3 for City. Face Al Hilal in the last 16 in the early hours of Tuesday morning. talkSPORT co-commentator Scott Minto was very impressed with Pep's men.
Yeah, I think it is too early to call. You know, this is not a good Juventus side, as we've just been saying. But you know, City can only do what they're doing and beat who's in front of them. And they haven't just beaten them; they've absolutely blitzed them. I mean, if you think about it, I think they could have got 7 or 8 if they'd have needed to. I mean, it's almost the respect for the name of Juventus that at 2-1 I said City could get 4 or 5. There was such a golfing class between these two. And what impressed me, you know, most about Manchester City was not just individually, you've got great individuals, we know they have, but the way they sort of blended with each other. And that's with the ball, but also without the ball. They didn't give Juventus any chance at all. And Juventus are trying to pass the ball out, and they couldn't, and City were winning the ball back. Look, in terms of a one-off game, this is like the City of just a season or 2 ago. But you can't necessarily say City are back, because Juventus are not the team that they're going to face on a week-by-week basis in the Premier League. They're really not. But I couldn't be more impressed with Pep City here today.
We have lots of reaction to the sports bar. This City fan, Lee, called in. He thinks City will walk the title next year.
When Rugby wasn't on the pitch, we did look a little shaky when we lost the ball. That's more of the same old City that worries me a little bit. But when Rugby was there today, absolute rock solid. I don't see us like we'll storm it, absolutely storm it. As long as Rugby stays fit, which is a worry, because obviously you can't rely on one player. But Rugby in that team, and then the likes of the Rinders, the way he's playing, Cherksey, the way he played in the last game, Aitanora, we'll absolutely storm it this season. I think it might be a Mickey Mouse tournament, they say, but we're definitely back. All the signs are there.
So you're going to win this tournament as well, then?
Depends the way he rotates. But yeah, I don't see why we don't go and win this and then go and win the league. Go push into the Champions League as well next season.
Wow.
Yeah, I think there's a pretty good chance they could win the Club World Cup. They'll obviously be stronger in the Premier League next season with Rodri coming back, new signings coming in, maybe some plays that have been a little bit past it moving on, and maybe rejuvenated Pep Guardiola as well. I still think, looking at what Liverpool done last season and what Liverpool are doing this season, in this summer, you've got to have Liverpool as favourites. Plus, as well, something we don't know, this is completely unique, that one title challenger are playing a tournament in the summer and another aren't. How big of an advantage will that be for Liverpool? We'll obviously find out. Elsewhere, the Club World Cup, Real Madrid top their group thanks to a 3-0 win over Red Bull Salzburg, while Al Hilal finished second in their group after beating Pachuca 2-0. The Club World Cup's group stage has now come to an end, so we enter the last 16. Some of the standout matches sees Lionel Messi come up against his old club PSG, who take on Inter Miami. Brazilian Flamengo face Bayern Munich. Chelsea play Benfica. Man City take on Al Hilal, and Real Madrid will face Juventus. Benfica Chelsea will be on the talkSPORT network on Saturday night. Well, City's next game is at 2 o'clock in the early hours of Tuesday morning. That will be on talkSPORT. This is the Early Breakfast Show. It's 5:15. Sam Ellard with you until 6 o'clock this morning, and it's talkSPORT Breakfast. Sports Bar boys O'Hari and Cundy taking over talkSPORT Breakfast this Friday morning. Coming up next, we'll take a deep dive into this morning's back pages. A very good morning to you. Happy Friday. It's 5:18. This is the Early Breakfast with Adrian Flux. You can get a tailor-made quote for your commercial vehicle. Search Adrian Flux Insurance for the individual. Jamie and Jason on the way from 6 o'clock on talkSPORT Breakfast. Make sure you download the talkSPORT app to find all of our stations, including talkSPORT, talkSPORT 2, Talk Times and Virgin, and then you can listen again to our shows and best interviews too. Some of the sporting headlines you're waking up to this Friday morning. UEFA executives are meeting today to decide if Crystal Palace will be allowed to play in next season's Europa League. They qualified for European competition for the first time in their history by winning the FA Cup, but they could be in breach of multi-club ownership rules. Co-owner John Textor also has a stake in French club Lyon, which is qualified for the same tournament. Cristiano Ronaldo has signed a new 2-year contract with Saudi Arabian club Al Nassr. The 40-year-old Portugal forward remains one of the highest paid players in the world. Ronaldo has posted on social media, "A new chapter begins. Same passion, same dream. Let's make history." And the new championship season will kick off with recently relegated Ipswich taking on newly promoted Birmingham on Friday, the 8th of August. The opening round of fixtures Also see Southampton meet Wrexham and Leicester face Sheffield Wednesday. Luton, who dropped down to League One, begin their campaign against AFC Wimbledon. In League Two, Barnet return to the EFL with a home game against Fleetwood, while Oldham's first game back will be against MK Dons. Ipswich CEO Mark Ashton joined White and Jordan yesterday and says his side won't be distracted by their blockbuster opening fixture.
Look, from the accent, you'll know I was born and bred in the Midlands, 16 years at West Bromwich Albion, so it'll be nice to be back in the Midlands. I think, look, we've just got to be the very best versions of ourselves, let other people worry about how they want to conduct and be. We're very businesslike. You know, this is sanity for us. This is not vanity. We're building professional backroom staff, a professional football club who will work very hard. I think if we can be the very best versions of ourselves, we've got every opportunity to be competitive. And I want us going into this season with a hunter mentality, and I want us to attack the season.
For the full fixture, just visit talksport.com, where you can find loads more from the EFL. And do not forget, talkSPORT is, of course, your home of the EFL, with more live commentaries than ever before. Now, as we know, there is so much sport going on at the moment. The Club World Cup, the cricket, the Lions Tour, Wimbledon starting in a couple of days' time. But how can you forget? Tomorrow night, England are in a final. That sounds good. England are in a final as the under-21s taking on Germany under-21s in the final of the Euros, and it's live on talkSPORT.
Put it into the path of Harvey Elliott in the area! What a finish! Harvey Elliott lashes it home for England, and England's young guns are through to another final. The holders of the Under-21 European Championship will have the chance to retain their trophy. England go through to face Germany in the final on Saturday night.
You know, it can't be an achievement, even though, you know, I'm really proud of the lads just to get to a final. I think, you know, we want to try and win it. We believe that we can. I've got a lot of belief in this squad.
Swung into the middle now, good ball as well, and it's such an easy goal as Nelson Viper scores his first for the Germany Under-21.
To get back-to-back at this level, when there's such high quality throughout Europe, to really take control of the tournament, I think is fantastic. And if they can get one more game over the line, then they're going to be heroes throughout the country.
Both the England under-21s and Germany under-21s will try and win a fourth European Championship trophy when they lock horns in the final. The Young Lions are bidding to retain their crown, but they come up against a familiar German foe who beat them 2-1 in the group stage earlier this month. England ended their 39-year wait for European Championship glory when they triumphed in the 2023 tournament, and now they are seeking to become the first nation to retain the Euros title since Spain between 2011 and 2013. The game is, of course, live on talkSPORT, 8 o'clock kickoff. Time now, though, at 5:23 to take a look at today's back pages. Sam Stevens back in the studio. Where would you like to stop?
Yeah, well, let's talk a bit about Eberechi Eze, shall we? Because brilliant player that he is, and his future's been much source of speculation over the summer. And, I mean, you first of all, think to yourself, can't really see that Palace would want to sell him. But it seems like they may not have too much choice, because, as you've just correctly pointed out to me while we were just discussing it there, £68 million release clause for Eberechi Eze. Which seemed like originally it was going to be Spurs that would be prepared to pay, or certainly prepared to try and bid for him. But it now looks like Arsenal might be a destination for him as well. They seem interested. They've obviously got their eyes on a wide man for this summer. Seems to be one of their priorities. Although they seem to be signing everything but forward players at the moment, at the Arsenal. But Eze, where do you think then, Sam? Arsenal, Spurs, which is a better move for him, and where do you think he'll go if he does go?
I mean, I think if he could pick, I think it'd be Arsenal, clearly. I know, obviously, Spurs are in the Champions League, but it's pretty obvious that Arsenal are so much further ahead than Spurs. I think Eze is a magnificent player. I think he's been absolutely fantastic for Palace for a good couple of seasons now. I think last season took his game to a different level. That release clause there, Sam, £68 million, right, is the release clause. I think that is an absolute bargain. He's a Premier League proven player. He's at a really, really good age. I still feel like a coach like Mikel Arteta or maybe even a Thomas Frank could get more out of him. I think from an Arsenal point of view, he can fill multiple positions. He can play on the left-hand side, which is a position they desperately need to improve on. One of the criticisms last season was when Odegaard got injured, they didn't have somebody to come in and kind of replace him, whereas they couldn't play as a 10. He's very, very versatile, proven in the Premier League. I think he's got a good attitude, and I just think he's an absolute baller. Top player, will take Arsenal to the next level. And I'm surprised that with that release clause, I'm surprised there aren't more teams, more top teams, who were interested in him. I think he's an absolute wonderful player, Sam.
Oh, he's probably my favourite player in the Premier League to watch, to be honest, because he has actually got that element of unpredictability that seems to be lacking in a lot of players now.
Bit of spark, bit of flair. Yeah, you're right. Play a pass
rather than actually take players on, which is great to see, isn't it? And I think that the question mark I would have had about that value of him is just before the last few months of the season, this season, there was a bit of a sense that maybe there's a bit of playing in spurts and lacking goals to his name, but all of a sudden he seems to have added goals consistently over the last few months. He's also sort of performing well for England. You just wonder whether a step up to a bigger club might make him even thrive even more as a player, bring out more out of him.
He strikes me as the sort of player, Sam, that wouldn't have any problems dealing with more pressure, more eyes on him, playing in the Champions League. He strikes me. And I've interviewed him before in mixed zones and stuff like that, but he's a real laid-back kind of guy. And I kind of think he takes everything in his stride, got a real positive attitude. So I think Arsenal need that left winger, that backup 10. I think he ticks both boxes. I think he'd be a great signing for them. I think from a Spurs point of view, I mean, he'd be their best player.
Oh, he waltzes into their team. My goodness.
He'd just go in and be an absolute superstar for them, wouldn't he? So
I think you look at him and then Kulusevski on both sides. That's a pretty good behind Solanke. That's not bad.
Kulusevski, Maddison, and Eze playing behind Solanke. That'd be an incredible three. Yeah. With Bergvall, and plus they need to sign a new six, don't they? That'd be. I think with that release clause, I think whoever gets him is getting an absolute baller for a really, really good fee. Gutted for Palace though. Back in Europe, we hope for the first time.
Would be devastating.
I say back into Europe, and to not have him, their star player, could lose Gahey as well. It's a real blow for them. Yeah,
it really is. And of course, we find out today, like you said in the headlines, whether or not Palace are going to make it into Europe or not. We hope they do. For their sake, it would be terrible if they miss out. What about Arsenal's business more broadly then, Sam? Because so far, we know they need a striker. Do you think there's an element that Mikel Arteta finds it almost more comfortable to sign sort of safe, comfortable players rather than pushing the boat out and signing a striker? Because it's almost inexplicable at this point. It's almost like they're laughing, the on-running joke, isn't it? The ongoing joke about Arsenal's lack of a striker, but still no signs of signing one. Yes, okay, it probably will happen before the end of the window, but Zubamendi coming in, Norgaard's coming in now as well by the looks of it, Aretha Balaga, Kepa coming in as well as a backup goalkeeper, and still no striker for Arsenal. What do you make of all that?
You say it needs to happen, by the way, before the end of the window, and of course it does, but I'd even say ideally it needs to happen before the first day of pre-season. And really, it's pretty obvious what Arsenal need. Look, I know people are taking the mick because they've just signed a backup goalkeeper and a backup DM, but those positions are also important because one thing Arsenal needed, I think, is more strength in depth, not just a crop of 13, 14 players to pick from.
That's definitely true.
To compete on all fronts next season, they need a bigger squad of 19
players. A lot of injuries
players
last year, didn't they?
I think a player like a Norgaard, I think, will be a really good addition to the squad. On the striker, they're going to sign a centre forward. Whether it's Gyökeres or Šeško, I'm not 100% sure. They will sign one, and I believe they will sign one of those two players before the first day of pre-season, and then everybody will stop talking about Arsenal needing to sign a centre forward. But it will happen. It will obviously happen. And also, I think they'll also sign another left winger as well, because that's the position they need to improve as well. To get to that next level, winning Premier League, they need an out-and-out goal scorer, of course, but they also need an upgrade on that left-hand side, and I think they'll get that as well.
Yeah, well, I think that's the one to watch, isn't it, over this? I think there's still 3 or 4 Premier League clubs who could desperately do with a striker this summer, but Arsenal probably top the list, don't they?
Yeah, I don't think anybody in the world needs to send it forward more than Arsenal. Good stuff, Sam Stevens. Thank you. Back shortly for some front-page stories. This is the Early Breakfast Show on talkSPORT. Coming up next, we'll hear from Nick Kyrgios. Did you meet him? Have you seen him? Did you see him around?
I didn't see him around, no, because he was on this floor while I was upstairs, but he seems like a great guy.
Yeah, real character, right?
Yeah, real character. Yeah, lots of interesting opinions.
Yeah, for sure. And he was with Warren Jordan yesterday. We'll hear from him in a few minutes' time on the Early Breakfast Show.
when was the last time you saw someone score with a knuckleball free kick? We're going to take a look at why we're not seeing them anymore and explain a bit about how they work. The knuckleball peaked in the 2010s after that Ronaldo strike against Portsmouth in 2008 inspired academy players everywhere. Here's a young Mason Mount.
I tried to base my free kick on Ronaldo, hit the ball by the valve and it moves. So what do you do? Top corner.
Now, no ball is perfectly aerodynamic, so as it travels it creates ever-changing pockets of turbulent air, causing that unpredictable movement. Football's most prolific free kick taker, Juninho Pernambucano, perfected the technique but didn't invent it. He was inspired by players from the 90s and even the 50s. So how do you do it? You have to hit the ball head on with as short a contact time as possible so the ball doesn't spin. Hitting by the valve helps with that short contact time, as it's the hardest part of the football. So why don't we see knuckleballs much anymore? It's because players are being told not to shoot from dead ball situations because the XG is so low. In fact, as Opta shows here, since the 08-09 season there's been a 10% reduction in players shooting from free kicks in the Premier League. And in 23-24, a record low of 11 free kicks found the back of the net. And the knuckleball, though spectacular, is imprecise, which is why it's becoming a thing of the past.
A very good morning. This is the Early Breakfast on talkSPORT with Adrian Flux, the cover you need at a price you'll love. With What Van's Insurer of the Year 2021. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. Don't forget you can watch this show and all talkSPORT shows on your smart TVs. I'm Sam Ellard taking you through until 6 when it's a sports bar takeover on The Breakfast Show. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy from 6 o'clock this morning. Some more sporting headlines you're waking up to. League One side Huddersfield will host three-time winners Leicester in the first round of next season's League Cup. Elsewhere in the northern section, Birmingham have drawn against Sheffield United. Crawley will travel to 2013 champions Swansea in the southern section, while Coventry welcome Luton. The 9 Premier League teams featuring in European competitions this season won't enter until round 3. Nottingham Forest say they're delighted. Plans to redevelop the City Ground were approved. Councillors have given the go-ahead for the Peter Taylor stand to be rebuilt at an increased 10,000 capacity. The club had previously set out broader proposals to extend the other 3 stands of the stadium as well. And in cricket, England have added fast bowler Jofra Archer to their squad for next week's second test against India. The Sussex man made a return to championship action with his county over the past few days. He hasn't featured for England in the longest format since February 2021 due to injury. Former England captain Michael Vaughan says he doesn't understand the rush to bring Archer back.
I just don't understand the rush. You know, he's not played the longer format for 4 years. He's had one outing for Sussex up in Durham. He bowled a few overs and he bowled them quite nicely. You know, on the back of a tremendous performance at Leeds, where I look at someone like Josh Tongue. Josh Tongue bowled fantastic. He hoovered up the tail, something that England have not been brilliant at over the years. Surely he plays again at Edgbaston. They've had, by the time the game starts, it'll be a week in between the tests. So that's plenty of time to rest. I personally would have let Jofra play one more 4-day game, get a few more overs under the belt, go with the same team that played so well at Leeds, and then bring him for the test match at Lords, where he bowled one of the great spells. One of the great spells that in this era that we talk about is Jofra Archer bowling to Steve Smith from the pavilion end.
I agree with Michael Vaughan. I don't think for a single second England are going to rush Jofra Archer in any way, shape or form. Jofra Archer has had injuries for a long period of time now with England. And I maybe think it's been 4 years since he last played a test match. In the early parts of his injuries, in the first couple of years, I think you could argue one of the criticisms towards England is they may be rushing back a little bit too quickly. And I think over the last 18 months, as he's recovered from his recent injuries, I think something England have done well is really, really manage his workload, bring him back into T20 cricket, manage his schedule, manage what he's doing. He played a 4-day game for Sussex, which came through okay. So just because he's been added to the squad for the second test, I don't think it's a given that it means he's going to play. He might just be with the boys, training with the guys, bowling them in the nets. So I think that if there's any doubt in England's mind, any doubt whatsoever that he's not ready, fully fit to get through a test match, they won't pick him. They've waited too long and spent too much everything on him in terms of looking after him, managing him, getting him back. They won't rush him. So I think he'll train with England, and if they think the third test of Lords the week after is better for Archer, then I think that's what they'll do. But I'm buzzing for him because it's been such a long time. And I think it's so good, by the way. He wants to play Test cricket. After so many years out injured, he could have easily just come back and wanted to play T20 cricket, franchise cricket around the world, earn the big bucks there. But he wants to play Test cricket. Test cricket needs the best players in the world. Archer's certainly that. And fingers crossed he can play against India. And of course later this year as well in the Ashes, because what a bowler he'll be for England in the months to come. So yeah, Jofra Archer, absolutely delighted for him. Now, talkSPORT have the pleasure of having Wimbledon finalist Nick Kyrgios with us for the duration of the tournament to offer insight and analysis. Yesterday, he joined White and Jordan in the studio to discuss his career and the current tennis scene. And Kyrgios told Jim and Simon that the sport has an issue with how it deals with doping incidents.
Right now, there's been a lot of controversy with the governing bodies in the tennis world with doping. And I think where the frustration lies was we just wanted the same kind of treatment for every player. There's been players out there that have waited 9 to 12 months about what they were going to do, where they were going to serve. They couldn't train, so they lost their careers waiting for results. Where obviously Sinner's the number one player. He was the number one player in the world. I completely understand how important he is to the brand of tennis. He's going to be carrying the flag for us for I love tennis, so I'm going to be watching him for 15 years. So I understand how important he is, but I think for the other players that aren't as important, they're still a big part of the sport as well. So we needed the same sort of treatment for everyone. I think that's where the frustration was. But props to Sinner, with all the noise that happened, and maybe I did contribute to some of the noise, but he's back now playing some great tennis, obviously reaching a Grand Slam final, and he's put it behind him. So props to him.
Some really good insight from Nick Kyrgios yesterday on White and Jordan. If you want to hear more, go on to talkSPORT's YouTube channel, and Nick Kyrgios will be regular on talkSPORT in the next couple of weeks during Wimbledon, which starts Monday, the draw later today. Now it's competition time. The reunion of the century is just around the corner, and we're giving you a chance to win a pair of Oasis tickets in Manchester on July 19th. Yes, you heard that right. Oasis Live 25 is sold out, but talkSPORT can get you in, and that's not all. Alongside the tickets, we'll put you up for a night in a hotel and put $5,000 in your back pocket, completely tax-free. Listen up right now for everything you need to know and how to enter.
Alright, kid, you have to be over 18 to enter in the UK, excluding Northern Ireland. For a chance to win a pair of tickets to the most electrifying rock and roll reunion of the century, a hotel stay and $5,000 spending money, all you gotta do is text the word Oasis to 83338 by Monday the 7th of July at 11 p.m. and you'll be entered into the draw to go supersonic this summer. Sorted. Right, here's all the legal stuff. Text costs £2 plus one standard network rate message. You've got to have the bill payer's permission or post your name and number to Oasis Prize Draw, PO Box 3190, Colchester, CO2 8GP, to arrive by 5 p.m. on the 10th of July. This is a talkSPORT limited promotion run on talkSPORT, Talk and Virgin Radio UK stations. Full T's and C's at talksport.com.
And it goes without saying, I wish you the very best of luck if you choose to apply. Now it's time for some Friday fun. Let's do this.
It's a front page throwdown.
Oh, what a move!
The front page is first on the early sports breakfast. Talk Sport.
Here we go, Sam Stevens, with some fun stuff from the front pages.
Yeah, I heard them talking about this a little bit on overnight, some extra time with Stewie and Paul this morning. But a DIY shop in Scotland has won Best Daft Business Name with the moniker, forgive my pronunciation, Do It Yourself, as in do it yourself. Do it yourself. The family-owned store topped the amusing names list that also included Kashmiri restaurant Balti Towers.
Very good.
Gardening and gardeners Back to the Fuchsia.
Very good.
It can now, a fuchsia's a flower, by the way.
No, I get that. Even I got that one.
Plant. It can now officially say it has beat Britain's best small business name after beating 2,200 other firms to the £2,500 cash prize. Do you want to hear a few more?
Go on.
Cash prize. Cash prize. Cash
That'd
prize
be good, wouldn't it? Cash and prize.
Cash and prize, yeah.
Would that be?
So Be It is a honey farm in Lancashire.
Very good.
Pie-tanic, a food truck in Birmingham.
Very good.
Like that. Pie-tanic.
Like this.
Lawn and Order is a garden centre.
Very clever.
That's very good, that. Lawn and Order.
Lawn and Order.
Damsel in Distress, the seamstress in Harlock. Damsel, I say a damsel in distress. That's just an expression.
Next one, sorry, that wasn't in my head.
Yeah, Balti Towers, Back to the Fuchsia, and Do It Yourself. Got any other favourites?
Can you do it in the Scottish accent?
Do It Yourself.
That's quite clever, isn't it?
That's quite good.
Are you a DIY man, or do you
I would say that DIY is something I leave to other people. I would say don't do it yourself.
So you don't do it yourself?
No, I would do a bits and pieces. If it meant, I'm not very good at I couldn't put a shelf up. I would
fix a
admit
light
that.
bulb?
I could fix a light bulb. Yes, I could do a light bulb. I could fix a broken drawer or something like that. It's easy enough. Just a screw, isn't it? Just a screwdriver. It's not difficult. But I couldn't do anything particularly, useful. Really. What about you? Could you?
No, I'm pretty bad, to be honest.
So you just stitched me up and said that I couldn't do it, but you can do it yourself.
Well, I didn't stitch you up. I was just taking an interest in, and also my dad's a builder as well.
Oh, is he?
So
you got notes.
It's quite convenient that if I need something, I could just text him and he could do it for me, and hopefully not charge me as well, right?
Yeah, well, that's it.
That helps as well, doesn't it?
That's the other thing.
That's very good. I like that. I like that, Sam.
You get it, and you get it for free. Now, when you go to a big event these days, I know you go to quite a few because you're quite big in the world of things that you put on social media, right?
What does that mean? You're big in the world of things I just put this show on my social media. That's it at the moment.
You're big in the world of things that people want to see, right? You know they say about TV, don't you? Places people you want to see and places you want to be. That's like you.
I'm going to put you on Instagram in a bit. Does that mean people want to see you?
I don't know. I have no idea. Do people want to see my face? Probably not.
You're going on my Instagram page. There we go.
Thank you very much. Gen Zers admit they need photos or social media posts to remind them of good times they've had. Rather than enjoying nights out at the time, more than a third, 34%, get more excitement looking back at the event. Only a few more, 36% of 18 to 28s polled by Snapchat, actually enjoy the experience in the present. Now, where do you stand on this, Sam? This is a very contentious issue.
So I am very much of the opinion that you can do both. I believe in myself that I can go out, have a really, really good evening, enjoy the moment, but also at the same time, I'm not ashamed to be, you know what, lads, we're having a really good night here, why don't we get a photo? And then I can also look back on it in a few months' time. So I don't think it's one or the other. I don't think it's put your phone away and take no pictures and have a good night, or do the opposite. I think I can have a really, really good night, but then also at some point in the evening, take a picture. Is that fair?
I agree with that. I think that you've got
to... But that does not surprise me, by the way.
No, I think that it's nice to take a photo of it because I think it helps you remember, it helps jog the memory a little bit. I personally think that. Like when you look back in future years and go, oh yeah, what a great time we had there. But if you don't do that, then you've got memories, but they become a bit distant, don't they?
I know, you went to the Euros, right, last summer, right? Like you had, I'm guessing, the most amazing time.
Oh, it was unbelievable.
But I'm also guessing you were like, I'm in this amazing new football stadium for the first time. I want to take a picture to remember it, right?
No question about that. And I think that anyone who says, I mean, I understand the whole, you've got to just live in the moment. I get that, but you can still do that, and yet you can have a good time.
But what you're saying there, it doesn't surprise me that some people would almost go to a certain event or a certain night out. And this sounds sad, Sam, for a picture for their social medias, so people know that they're in this place. Do you know what I mean? That would happen, and that's mental. That's crazy, isn't it?
Yeah, that is absolutely crazy. Now, what about this, Sam? Do you have any particular recurring dreams or vivid dreams about anything in particular?
Not particularly, Sam, no.
Well, this would be interesting because I wonder whether, when you ever do, whether you might start dreaming of the radio.
Dreaming of the radio?
Dreaming of the radio, yeah. Because apparently builders are plagued by dreams about laying bricks.
No way.
Ask your old man about this. Just over 51% confess to having work-related dreams or nightmares. Some even had dreams about specific jobs they do at work, like laying a single tile. Oh, what a dull dream. Well, it's just you want to dream about that to knock you off to sleep, not dream about that while you're sleeping.
All the things you could dream about, you dream about that.
Yeah, exactly. 6% complain their dreams were like a never-ending game of Tetris every night. Remember Tetris?
Oh, no, I don't remember. I never played that.
You never played Tetris? My goodness, you're young. Plumbers were more likely to dream of sinks, toilets, showers, pipework and baths, while roofers had dreams or night terrors about tiles. There you go.
But would you say it's probably quite normal, though, for all people in all work to have dreams about their jobs?
I think probably more so than... yeah, that's probably true.
Do you dream about Shaban?
Well, that's a very personal question.
No, because you know with Shaban or the show or
I honestly don't think I've ever dreamt about anyone that I've worked with in that capacity. I don't think I've ever dreamt that I'm on... I mean, maybe once or twice I might have dreamt that I'm on air with somebody, but I don't think I've had...
Oh, like who? Me?
Probably you, yeah.
Oh, thank you.
Probably.
Did you have a nightmare about me last night?
I didn't, actually.
Oh,
no, I didn't, thankfully. Thankfully, I slept very soundly last night thinking about working with you.
But no, that's if you're a builder and you're dreaming about you probably think, I don't want to have to do it and then dream about it. That's probably boring, isn't it?
Yeah, that's right. Absolutely. Just thinking, if anyone would like to send us in the last 10 minutes of the show any funny business titles. Oh, we can do dreams if you want. Funny business titles. I have a real tap in the town that I grew up in. I think every town's got one, by the way, so this is not anything revelatory and probably won't even raise a smile, but the Codfather for fish and chip shop.
Oh, no, it's good.
I mean, it's a tap in, isn't it?
It's
curl up and dye, hairdressers, that sort of thing. DYE dye, get it? You see what I did there? Yeah, so there's those kind of things. So if you've got any of those, feel free to message us 81089.
81089 is the text number. Thanks, Sam.
All right, mate.
Don't want that to end, really.
No, I know, it's good, isn't it?
It has to end because we've got a break, and at 6 o'clock this morning, it's a Sports Bar Takeover. Yes. Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy from 6. very good morning. It is the talkSPORT early breakfast. It is 5:51. Sam Ellard is with you until 6 o'clock this morning. We've had quite a few texts coming in regarding Sam did a story before the break about some fun, quirky business shop names. Perky Blenders, a coffee shop in London. That's come in on what we've got. Kids hairdressers called Crops and Bobbers in London. Lots and lots of great texts coming in as well on the text on that. I've also got one on Eberechi Eze, speaking about him joining potentially Arsenal. Morning Sam. Eze was at Arsenal and said he was 13, supported them as a kid. No brainer, he'd go back. I think you'd have to agree on that one. So keep your text coming in 1889 this morning on talkSPORT early breakfast. Jamie and Jason on the way for the breakfast show at 6. Lots and lots of live sport and football to look forward to this weekend, including another game. The British and Irish Lions facing their second warm-up game and their first on Aussie soil as they face Western Force. The game will be live and exclusive for you tomorrow on talkSPORT.
The Lions tour of 2025 is underway.
Great to be here. This is what it's all about, isn't it?
Great ball from Thomas Williams to Ty Burn, though. And Ty Burn in that baby blue scrum cap, but a bright red shirt. And the British and Irish Lions lead once again.
Pressure to who or what, or like there's individual pressure that you got to perform, and there's squad pressure that we want to put our best out there because we're representing the Lions.
Bundyaki on the right-hand side, thought about passing, goes himself, barrels over. Now has he got it down? Referee says yes.
Once every 12 years, and yeah, it's pretty cool how my career's aligned for me to be able to have the opportunity to play them, which is really exciting.
Right hands here for Jorgensen. Look at it free up Peaks, that's a beauty.
At the end of the day, it is just a Lion and a Wallabies team going at each other without the outside noise.
Here for a good time, so hopefully we can start this part of the tour off really well coming this Saturday.
So there we go then. We know game number 1 for the British and Irish Lions was not the way they wanted to start off the big tour, losing to Argentina in Dublin. They'll hopefully get back or get their first victory of the tour this Saturday morning. Andy Farrell was told Henry Pollock that he has free licence to celebrate and be himself on his first start for the British and Irish Lions. A 20-year-old sensation will wear the number 8 shirt against Western Force in Perth tomorrow. He comes into the starting team as one of 13 changes to that 28-24 defeat. Also, the Irishman, Dan Sheehan, has got the captain's armband for the first time, and he says he's not dwelling on the captaincy.
You know, the week goes quickly and you can't dwell on it too long, and I think we've had a great week's prep looking forward to Western Force, and you know, a good first week in Perth. So obviously a massive honour to lead this group, especially with the people we have in the squad, and you know, the people on that team sheet as well alongside me who will be giving me a hand all week. So yeah, massive honour, but sort of excited to put on that red jersey for our first time, and looking forward to the weekend.
Meanwhile, Andy Farrell was spoken ahead of this game about the number of Irish players involved in his squad.
Suppose, you know, for us all now, I mean, we've only been together for a few weeks, but, you know, it's almost not even relevant to us because it's not what we see or how we see it. It just happens to be that way as far as the numbers are concerned, etc. You know, I suppose if you look at that, there are key positions out there that's not played together before, so all of that makes it interesting for us to see how cohesive we can be as a whole.
Meanwhile, talkSPORT pundit Topsy Ojo says this game is absolutely vital for the Lions to finally kickstart their tour with a win following the opening loss.
This is the first opportunity that the full squad are now together. It's the first run out on Australian soil, and the guys that now get the privilege of playing this weekend need to set the tone for the games coming up, because once we get into this Saturday, the games come thick and fast. The team will be chopping and changing. So every minute that you get to spend on the pitch on the weekend in particular, you have to make it count.
So the first game was a defeat to Argentina. What will the second game bring? Do not forget, the Lions v Western Force is live from 11 o'clock tomorrow morning on talkSPORT. Live commentary, and for all of your Lions needs, remember, the Lions Uncaged podcast is available from wherever you get your podcasts and also on talkSPORT's YouTube channel. There is plenty and plenty and plenty of Lions content. But it's a Sports Bar Takeover on breakfast this morning. From 6 o'clock this morning, it is Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy on talkSPORT Breakfast. Lots and lots of good guests joining the show, including at 9 o'clock, a legend, Ashley Cole, currently with the Under-21s as their assistant manager. He joins the show at 9 o'clock, of course, previewing the England Under-21s final against Germany on Saturday evening. Ashley Cole live on talkSPORT Breakfast at 9 o'clock. And Jimmy Bullard, the former Wigan midfielder, is going to join the lads after failing to qualify for the Open. What? You've been listening to the Early Breakfast with Adrian Flux, insurance for the individual. Find out more at adrianflux.co.uk. Coming up next is talkSPORT Breakfast with Jamie O'Hara and Jason Cundy.